Welcome, everybody, to the House of Men's Mental Health. I'm here with Ox and the legendary Mr. Mark Mesk. Right now, we got three of the horsemen probably showing up a little bit late. So, how's everybody? How you guys doing? How's it been?
I've been doing all right, hanging in there. So, how's everything with you?
I can't complain. Just trying to dry out up here. I live up close to upstate New York, and it's just been dumping on the mountain lately.
I bet it's raining everywhere.
Oh, yeah. It sucks for fishing right now, too, because everything's so high.
Oh yeah,
The grass looks nice though.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, it does. It is definitely green. That is for sure.
Green grass, but if it gets too high and it's too wet, you can't mow it then.
That's right.
Exactly. And up here, it gets to be a bit of a mud pit. I got my
Yep.
360 mower, and it just, the slightest incline, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, how's everything going, Mark? How's the school going? Everything with that?
Going good. Jason, our head trainer, he's doing a hell of a job cleaning everything up, making it look really good. Probably going to shoot some promos here shortly from there. Got both rings up. Got a couple new guys, new students, a couple of prospects. So things are good. And I just landed a ring rental in July, and something maybe we can talk about next month. It's called hold on, I want to get it right. It's for mental health. So
Okay.
it's really cool. They're doing a show. It's in Jersey, and I think it's called Wrestling and Recovery.
Yes, I
Wrestling and
think I've
Recovery.
heard of that.
Yeah, well, I got a rental for them on July 19th. I was just looking at the stuff today that he's going to have. The guy that's running it, they're going to have a table there for like wellness and everything. So it's going to be one of them things where he's trying to get the word out for addiction and along with mental health. So I think that's a great show. I don't know much about it, and I'm just kind of learning into it. But I'm looking forward to that show in July. So by the beginning of next month, I'm sure I'll have more information about it. Have a flyer, maybe we can share and everything. But I think overall, I think it'll be a great show.
Excellent. It's always great when the community and wrestling especially takes the time to notice certain things that affect the population that really kind of goes by the wayside, and that's men's mental health.
Absolutely.
Alex, how's everything in the health and fitness in the gym?
Well, good. I mean, next week my wife and I are gonna schedule or talk to the current owner and see if we can work something out for upcoming and closer to retirement. So hopefully things will work out and we'll be able to start. Either way, I'm done the prison the end of July. So hoping that could be my retirement gig and hopefully we'll be good with it. But for now, everything's looking good. We're starting to clean some stuff up in preparation, and if not, we go there anyway. It's cleaned up. So, but yeah, we're trying to give it a whirl, see what happens. I've never been a business owner in my life, so
First time for everything.
Yeah. Now, honestly, I was reading a statistic the other day, and they said that most startup business owners don't start till around 47 years age.
Well, I'm 48, so
yeah, man. So you're right around that time.
You're right on time.
Target. Right on target.
Yep.
Oh man. So this past month has been rough for me. My brother passed away. His birthday was this year, or this month, and every once in a while, sometimes it just takes one thing to bring me down. And Mark, you had posted something about this. It was about a state of mind. And sometimes, I hear a song and it throws me into that state of mind. What you wrote, man, I mean, if you don't mind sharing with everybody, the
one
put things into perspective. Yeah.
Like when I wrote it, well, being it's the anniversary, not a lot of people talk about it because of what has happened, but I still pray for the kids that were affected by it. But we are always judged by our last act, no matter how good we've done, our whole life. And, whether, you're not in the right state of mind. And if you're not, I encourage people to reach out, talk to a friend, a family member, or get help, because 20 years ago, people, to see somebody about getting professional help, it made you a guy, you were nuts, you were crazy. You're like, oh, well, he's unstable because he has to go see somebody. But in reality, that's the best thing you can do to get your head on straight. And, 7 years ago, once this, tragedy happened, it kind of makes you think, like, if you don't keep a track of what you're doing, like I said, you cross that line once, it's not going to be erased, and you're going to be labeled that. Whether you're still here or not, you're still going to be, there to the point where you're going to be judged by that. And, God, it doesn't matter how much good you've done in the world, that one act makes you the baddest guy in the world, and everybody then, I hate to say it, shits on you for it. And I don't think that's fair, and I don't agree what he did, but at the same time, anybody that's going through a problem, go get help. Talk to somebody. Do something. Just don't do nothing, because nothing will just make it worse.
Exactly. Hi, Rob.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Rob.
How's everybody doing?
Wonderful.
Good. I miss you guys.
Miss you too, man.
Look at that
training?
smile.
What's up, buddy?
Living the dream. I just want to add to what Mark was saying. Like, a lot of people don't understand that mental illness doesn't just affect one person; it affects everyone. And what Mark's talking about, I mean, it happened 7 years ago, and it still affects a lot of us to this day.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Tate earlier,
yeah,
and he's having a tough time of it today, and he's like, saying he's torn, just like all of us, like,
Yep.
The man taught us a lot of things, but at the end of the day, he ended up, not getting the help he needed and destroyed his whole family. It's sad.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not being like, oh, it's a horrible thing what he did, and glorifying him. Not at all. What he did was horrible.
Right.
It's just that if he would have maybe gotten help, it would be a different story. So
yeah,
and
it was the week before. I mean, let's be honest. We all spent almost every weekend with him, and with Steph, and with the kids.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Them kids
buying cookies.
All, and then I remember his boy smacking me with a paddle that Rebel made with holes in it. And if you've ever been smacked by a teacher with the paddle, the holes are not made to make it feel better. They're made to make it feel worse,
Right.
Resistance.
And I remember I had these welts on my ass for days, and then, you think about what happened, and you think, he laughed about it, and he would see him laughing, and let's again, 100% what he did was terrible and wrong. I'm not sticking up for him, but we did learn a lot from him. We laughed a lot with him, and it kills me because a week or two before, I came back to Tate's. I was gone for a month. I came back and I had something wrong with my back or my knee. I don't remember. And Rebel was sitting outside by himself with his truck, because we all sat out back. A lot of us sat out back there, and he was the only one.
Only the cool kids. Kids.
I mean, the other guys tried to sit out there. They weren't allowed to, though. The young guys with their Walmart gear,
right?
But he was sitting by himself, and I went out and I was, what's going on? He's like, man, I sold the business. And I'm like, what? He's like, I sold the landscaping business, and he was talking about, I want me and Steph to work together and everything. I go, Chuck, I was like, Chuck, do you think that's good? A good idea, And I was like, oh, maybe it's just, change it up. And I'm thinking to myself, something's not right. And I said to him, I go, are you okay? Yeah, and he was so quick to say, yeah, brother, never better. You know what I mean? And I just said, dude, are you sure you're all right?
Yeah.
Everything's good. I said, you love that landscaping business. Those are dads.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it wasn't that much later that he was so, that was not Chuck. His brain was so fucked, pardon my French, that he was, I don't know from what, I have no idea, but his brain was just, whatever happened mentally or physically, whatever, he was just so not Chuck. He was like somebody who was, and anybody who knew Rebel or dealt with him or seen him knew he was probably one of the most arrogant people you've ever met in your life.
Yeah.
He was so, but he was so like insecure, and he was so off that it bothered me so bad. And I said to Tate, I go, he sold his fucking landscaping business. I don't know, I don't know, and we're all like, we don't know, and so maybe he wants to do something else, whatever. And then that happened, and then like, I don't want to say you kick yourself, but you're kind of like, I can't believe that he would do that. One and two, then you have everybody else. You have your two sides of it. He's bad, she's bad. She should have gone, and it's whatever. And like I said, Chuck had more demons than probably most of us put together.
Yeah.
But he just, I don't know. To this day, I just can't believe that the guy who loved them kids so much and loved his wife so much and loved us so much, even though he had his faults. And God knows we all fought with him at some point in time.
No, never.
Like I just can't believe that whatever it was, it just happened. I think of the poor kids, and them kids got to be, they got to be what now? Probably about what, like 16, 17?
16, 17, yeah.
So they're teenagers now, and they're coming into a point in their life where, one's driving, one's this, one's that, you know what I mean? School, dances, sports, and stuff like that. This is the time.
Everything.
You want your parents around, if you can.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if that is not enough for somebody to go and just go to somebody that gives a shit. Because I hate to tell you, and I was talking to my wife about this last night. And I hate saying this, but it's the truth. You got to find somebody that cares, first off.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't give a shit about men's mental health. I'm telling you that right now. They don't care.
Yep.
They tell you to suck it up. They tell you you're a man. You know what I mean? They come up with some crazy sayings. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm telling you got to find someone who's going to be, helpful, not make it worse.
I almost think it's like a Tony Soprano mentality. Like, he was such a bad dude, but he went to go get help from a therapist or a psychiatrist, but looked down upon all the way around.
Oh, hold on, fellas. I got a little guest. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Romy.
Hi.
You got to speak into this part, baby.
Okay.
Say hi.
Hi.
Hi, honey.
Hi. Hi.
Hello.
You got to put this in your ear, baby. Now say hi.
Hi.
Hello.
CMO?
Hi.
Say bye, Barbara.
Bye-bye, baby. I'll talk to you in a little. Say bye. Say bye. Sorry, guys.
Thank you.
Sorry about the intrusion.
That's all right. There's always time for those kinds of interruptions.
Those are the good interruptions.
Yeah, they are. That was great.
I almost think like men's mental health is viewed like the Tony Soprano theory, though. He was a tough guy. He needed it. He was on his breakdown, but everybody else around it, as soon as they found out, they tried to use it against him.
Right.
I think that's kind of a misconception, though, in our society about men. Like, you guys are saying, get the help you need, find who you trust, and fuck it. I think do the flip side of the Tony Soprano mentality. Be the bullheaded one and say, fuck it, I'm going to go do this for myself instead of worrying about it.
And that's they think of a lot of us, like me and Ox and Mark, as tough guys. You know what I'm saying? Like we're the badasses of the group, and but shit, man, it this shit affects us too. So I'm happy that we're doing this. You know, I'm happy that we're trying to help people. I mean, if we help one person, you know, I mean, we've already helped numerous people. I mean, we've already, you know, heard from different people. So, you know, I mean, what we're doing is good. What we're doing is good, and I hope it continues. You know, I'm sure it will. So.
Definitely.
And, you know, you think about it over the years, you know, you go back, you know, say 30, 40 years, things weren't as complicated as they are now. You know,
Yes.
things were a little more simpler. So there wasn't as much going on. The men still, you know, it was the old saying, the women stayed home, the men worked, they came home, they relaxed, but the women took, you know, it was one way, the old fashioned way. The guys worked, they took care of their family. You know, the mother stayed home, the wife stayed home, did their thing, raised the children, whatever. But now, and people cared. Now, you know, we get into an area where people now, like Oxford, nobody gives a shit. Like, you know, you'd be laying there on the street needing help, and people just walk all over you because they don't care.
Listen, and there that is so the truth. That is so the truth. We have a fan who comes to our shows. The man died 4 times, like within the last 2 years. Richard, Bam Bam Bigelow looking guy.
Yeah,
you guys know who I'm talking about. And he came to Valor, and he was getting into his truck. It was parked right on the main street in York, and he fell and couldn't get up. And you should have seen all the cars that was just driving by, not even slowing down to see if the man was okay. Nothing. And it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with the human race, man? Like,
it's
you know,
terrible.
it's just it's
nobody
horrible.
Nobody wants to get involved because they're afraid that somebody's going to sue them if they do something wrong, and this and that. So they say, I don't want to get involved because.
But they're quick to pick up their camera.
Oh yeah, film, but they're not going to help because that way, you know, they have footage of what happened, but you know, they weren't the ones to help.
Yeah.
You know, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to get involved. It's sad. That's the world we live in. You know, like I said, you can land there on the street and they'll just walk all over, and people walk on you because you're in the way. You know, and people
I mean,
get out, come on. What's wrong with you?
I'm not saying this for shock value, but a police officer even drove by, and we were like, dude, you can't even stop traffic?
Yeah. Something.
Like, it was so messed up, yo. Like,
yeah. Unfortunately, that's today's world.
It is what it is, you know. It's sad.
Yeah, you know, and all that pressure now with everything else going on, social media, everybody's got a voice, so everybody's got an opinion, you know, which puts pressures on people. People are bullying through cyber, you know, because the computer, the phone. People can say what they want, but they wouldn't say it to your face if you were face to face. You wouldn't say it.
Absolutely,
exactly.
Look, I'm gonna say all this crap right here. You're not gonna catch me. Slam it down, and they walk away because they think it's funny. And they go, look what I just did.
Yeah.
Cool. You know, and it's not, you know, it affects somebody somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it does. It's almost like the butterfly effect. You know,
absolutely.
What you put out there changes the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything does.
Yeah.
And I think too, the responsibilities people have in general is insane. In work, family, you know, and like Mark said before, it was the guy goes to work, the woman stays home and takes care of everything. Now, I mean, with the way things are now, you have to have, unless you're rich, you have to have 2 people working.
Yep.
You have to have, you know, 2 people taking care of the house. You have to have at least 2 people doing A, B, and C. You know what I mean? The thing is where it gets different, for guys, and this ain't woman hating or anything. I talk about all this shit to my wife all the time too. Is if you go on Instagram, this guy, I don't know his name, but it's Men Need to Be Heard. That's his page. Men Need to Be Heard. And he has all this shit on there. And I'm telling you, this guy knocks it out of the park because everything is like from no matter what happens, eventually it becomes the man's responsibility. Just the way the world is. No matter what happens, it becomes the husband, brother, whatever problem. Whatever happens, it becomes you're the last line, and that is a great responsibility because it's not like I'm going to do one thing and then I'm going to get it and I'm done. Because sometimes you have a list of things that are 5 miles long. You got to unfuck.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
And you don't do it because you have to or whatever. I mean, you do have to, but you do it because you want to, and it's your responsibility and everything like that. The problem is some people take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some
Exactly.
people
Absolutely.
don't want to. Some people don't. They think, oh, that's the guy's job. So guess what? I'm done. Not my problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that guy falling out of the car. Not my problem. Somebody else stopping will drive by. You know what I mean? Stop the
Yeah.
fines.
Yep.
And then nobody does. And what happens? And then you get that guy who gets upset, who can't handle, who fails at one thing, and guess what happens? Boom. All it takes is one. And then you
Yeah.
got nowhere to go. Because guess
Yeah.
what? I don't give a shit. That's your problem. That's your problem. That's your problem. Well, now
Yeah.
I'm trying to get help. And this is for the guys who are trying to get help. And people gaff them off. Don't stop at 1 or 2. Go to 50 if you have to. Somebody's eventually whatever. And it's a terrible thing you have to say that, but I know with the way the world is now and how brutally horrible people are. And I am no angel. I'm going to say that straight. I am no angel. But
Me either.
brutally horrible people are like if somebody, then fuck them. Move on to somebody else.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And worst comes to worst, there's healthcare professionals that even if they don't care, at least they get paid and they're going to act like they do. You know what I mean?
Without a doubt. One thing I've come across lately, it's a new thing called Chat GP. It's AI and it talks back to you like a real person.
Yeah.
But it won't ever give you like medical advice or anything like that, like WebMD. But if you just need to get stuff off your chest, go to it and like type to it like you're talking to a complete stranger that you don't know, and they talk back to you in a manner that helps you get through stuff. I tried it over the past couple of weeks, and honest to God, it gave me tips on different things on how to get myself out of that anxious mode, depressive mode, or even just be able to cope with the situation in general. And that's it. I mean, honestly, if you were so worried about getting help like that, maybe just test it and see if it's an outlet for you.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good resource to have anyway.
Yeah. Honestly, God, it talks to you like it doesn't talk down to you or anything like that. It talks to you in a comforting manner where it helps you get through it in a sense and gives you the like tips and tricks on things. So, I mean, it's just like I said, something I came across just to give that to anybody out there.
And that's
And
the problem today is everybody talks down to you. That they would talk to you like we're talking now, just have a conversation.
Mhm.
Great. But everybody's like, I'm better than you. I'm talking down to you. Who are you?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, okay, Mr. Tough Guy.
Yeah. You got to look through history. Yeah, you got to look through history. How many kings have fallen when they thought they were on their high and mighty horse?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody hits it, man. And karma gets all of it. Karma's going to get all of it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It got me a few times, and I'm sure I got a few more coming.
Oh, it's got us all.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
I think it happens every day. I wonder why.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man. So all right, so all the stuff that we're talking about, we're trying to suplex the stigma. So I gotta do the shameless promo right now. I don't think it's really shameless. I think it's for a good cause. So I'm testing this out, trying to bring files up. It worked earlier, so hopefully it does now. This here is the Suplex the Stigma hoodie. You can get it on my Etsy shop. The link is down below here in the banner. It goes for a great cause. Basically, all the proceeds will be going to future events for men's mental health, sponsored by the House of Men's Mental Health. It could be anything from cookouts to even wrestling events, or maybe even music events. Who knows? But we definitely need to spread the word about it. And with this here, you can get the word out no matter where you're at across the country or even around the world. So be sure to definitely get yours today. And it does go up to sizes 4 and 5X, and we also have them in extra small.
Ox, they even got it in an extra small just for you.
Well, I know you can get me for Christmas.
I don't think I was ever extra small.
I don't think I was either.
I was at one point.
Oh man! But yes, we do have the bigger sizes. They do go up to 4X and 5X in some things. So
Nice.
Awesome.
yeah. I also
They
I
look
also have a
good.
suitcase. I also have a suitcase cover for any wrestlers that watch this. If you want something to support the cause too, you're on the road going to your events. Doesn't matter if you're, top tier or on the indies doing your thing. Whatever it is, support the cause, top to bottom.
Yeah,
You can
man.
do it and show it. I'll put that up later towards the end, though.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Sounds great, man.
Thank
I
you.
love the
Thank you.
blanket.
You
I
like
like
the
the
blanket?
blanket. Yeah, I like the blanket and the coffee
Yeah, I
cup.
like the blanket.
The
Yeah.
blanket and the coffee cup. I also have magnets up there too for anybody that wants to slap them on their car.
Yeah.
There's some nice stuff on there.
Thank you.
I think about putting a magnet on my truck, and then I'm like, it's
Ah,
just so pretty. It's just so pretty.
see, I'm working on a crumb bum shirt for you.
How about a license? Thank you. How about a license plate?
The license plate or the license plate holder around it.
The license plate holder. Yeah.
I can do those.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Definitely. Yeah, but all of it like I said, goes to support men's mental health in every way possible. So, we got I got some ideas personally stirring up that I'd like to do for the future. So,
Yeah.
and Mark, you had said there's that event coming up in Jersey. So, hopefully, maybe I can get some shipped out or down to you or something like that. If you want to possibly, get the word out and sell them down there, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that would be
That'd
cool.
great.
All right, man. Definitely. So, all right. I was thinking of this earlier today. What do you think is the most dangerous finisher in wrestling? And I'm going to throw this one out there first. The Beverly Brothers.
Oh,
Mm.
that was just ridiculous.
Yes.
I wouldn't take it. I'm telling you right now.
Nope.
No way.
I would have laughed at him.
No, I would have been. Nah, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Do you think that's up in the top 10?
No,
Yeah.
nobody trained me to be dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody trained me to be dumb. Fuck that. What do I think
every
is
time it
the?
comes across my feed, I just die.
Yeah.
I think the moves that I think are scary or dangerous are anything off the top rope. I'm always like, please don't break, please don't. Whether I'm watching it on TV or I'm at a show, because we've seen the ropes break. So anytime you're doing anything off the ropes and or you're doing it with somebody and you're both up on that rope, and I'm always like, please don't break, please don't break, please don't break. I'm always saying that to myself, no matter what, because we've seen the ropes break too many times.
Mhm.
Ox, your finger looks so humongous when you do that.
It was just really close. I just don't.
Thank you, baby. Can I have another?
I don't understand. Like, it's not a finisher, but I don't understand what all these guys wanting to bump on the ring apron. Like, did you see that bump Adam Cole just took? Like the one on the floor where he smashed, he did hit his neck or almost hit his neck in the ring apron with a power bomb. I
Yeah.
just don't get it. I don't understand it. What is that, like something that happened after I was done? Like, is that like a cool thing to do or something?
Yeah,
Well,
they're
I don't get
pushing the
it.
envelope.
That move, I think, started with Owens in NXT years ago.
Yes.
When he turned on Sammy, I think, and he powerbombed him on the ring apron, and that time he stretched him out. And it was like a bad thing. Like, it's one of the things that puts you out. Now that you do it, it's like halfway through the match. Like,
Yeah.
Everything else.
It stretched people before. Now it just
I just don't. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, I always, when I did bump, always tried to bump in the center of the ring. You know what I mean? Like, not anywhere else. Like,
Right.
I just don't. I don't understand that.
So many people, though, like, if you look at, like, and I see stuff every day on these reels where they do stupid shit, and either they're not trained right or they're just, oh, we can do this, and they don't really think. I mean, because let's face it, when I get in matches and we're gonna do some, like, crazier stuff, I'm thinking, okay, if we do this, hypothetically, would this work? Yes,
All right.
no. Okay, yes, no. You know what? No, that we're gonna kill ourselves. We're not gonna do that.
Right.
We'll modify it. But then I was like, we can do that. Like now, I've seen like taking freaking cement blocks and like power bombing on cement blocks in the middle of the ring. We're going,
No way.
like,
No.
why? Like, what do you got to prove?
And it's like 3 minutes into the match too. It's like 3 minutes in.
1,
Yeah.
2, kick out. Like,
Yeah, and they kick out.
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
it's become crazy. Like, I don't know.
But they still don't get, no matter what, they still don't get the pop that like the 80s guys did. Dusty and Nikita Koloff, Magnum, Tully.
Right.
All the guys, like you're not, there's no story. All it is a bunch of jumping and flipping and like to me, like I was watching The Undertaker, a reel on The Undertaker said, I think it said, the one guy asked me, he said, did you ever watch videos of people you were going to wrestle or start a feud with? He goes, yeah. He goes, well, like what, to like learn their moves and stuff like that? He goes, no, to tell them what they were not going to do to me. You know what I mean? I laugh because I didn't watch that. I just be like, nah, somebody said, nah, man, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
When you're younger, I'd be like, okay, because you don't want to be the guy that don't want to take nothing, you know what I mean? But no, okay, and but like Stevie Richards was just on, and they had that Adam Cole video, and he said them agents are horrible because the agents are supposed to be protecting the talent from themselves. The talent are goofy, and all of us can attest to that. We all do dumb shit, but I mean, like them agents are supposed to be like, no, you know what I mean? Like chill, you know what I mean? Like modify it, like Mark said,
It reminds me of the time I was at KPW and Joe Gomez was like, I'm going to F5 you. I'm like, no, you're not.
Joe Gomez almost.
I'll get you up. I'll F5 you. No.
Yo, listen, Joe Gomez almost paralyzed me with that, whatever you call that thing, that Death Valley Drive or whatever. It was for Sam. He's like, I get you up. No problem, brother. No problem, brother. And I'm thinking, it's kind of big, okay. So I'm up there, and I'm like, I said to him, dude, he didn't have me far enough over the side. You know what I mean? My head was back right behind his head. I'm like, dude, you got to move me. You got to move me. And dude, all I could feel myself going, I thought, yep, paralyzed, And it looked really good on camera, but when I got in the back, man, I tore into that motherfucker. And Sam's like, what's the matter? I'm like, dude, I should be eating like Frosted Flakes through a straw right now. You know what I mean? Like, and he's same thing. He wanted to give everybody that. Oh God! And this nice guy, love him, but Jesus.
We're in the back. He's like, "We'll practice going up." I'm like, "Okay, but you're not getting me." And he's like halfway up. Oh, I can get you. I'm like, "No, you cannot. We are not doing this." Oh, I'm big. I got other people up. I don't care.
You know why Mark said no to that, right?
What was that?
Because when we were at the Frackville Mall, somebody had a great idea of power bombing Mark off the top rope.
No, it wasn't a power bomb. It was the electric chair.
Oh, electric chair, whatever it was, it didn't work.
It was my idea.
Jesus, I thought Mark was going to die.
I was on the second rope, and then Jason comes behind. He goes, doot, doot, and and I went crump.
Yeah.
Well, I died there too.
Oh yeah, so did I.
No.
I was like, man, I hope they make a wheelchair big enough for him. Good Lord, it was horrible.
Yeah, that was a short ride, bad landing.
And now that's why he says no to shit like that.
So
as we got so much time, and you can say no, and no is my favorite word. Nah.
Yep. Nope. Yep.
Since I've been calling this the Four Horsemen here, quick question for you is, if you could do the late 80 early style or early 90s style scaffold match, would you do it? Or would you have?
I've been in a scaffold match.
You've been in, okay.
Yeah.
I have not, and I have no wants to ever.
No wants to. Okay.
Nope. That's the no coming in. Not happening.
Nope.
all the guys in the scaffold match were scared of heights except me. It wasn't fun. It was. I loved my guys to death, but They were all scared of heights. So
Wasn't that at Eagles? At Eagles Hall?
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
yeah, it was at Eagles Hall.
Jay Money was in it, right? It was Jay
Yes,
Money.
Jay Money,
I
Petey,
remember.
and Damien Destruction. It was me and Damien versus Pete and Money, and I'm hanging off the side, just dangling, and Money's like, "Please come up, please come up, please come up." I'm like, "Yeah, but listen to the crowd, listen to the crowd." They just wanted me to fall. Excuse me.
Yeah,
So
that's see, me and gravity don't get along very well. The
yeah,
higher I am, the faster I fall. It just, you know.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't go as high as.
Mm-mm.
I'm not going to go as high as New Jack went, but you know.
I still see that video pop up with him and Vic Grimes. I mean, that was almost that. I mean, that literally was close to murder on camera.
Yeah,
Jeez.
almost.
I see that on a daily basis online now.
Yeah. I mean, he just
So back to his question, guys. What do you think is the most dangerous move?
Yeah.
The sleeper hold.
The claw.
Yeah, the claw. The abdomen grab.
The good old temple grab.
I don't know. I mean, they all can
crushes.
Guns, right?
Yeah, the Kona crush.
Yeah, the Kona crush. That's what it was. I don't know.
I don't know. I think they're all dangerous if you have some idiot doing it to you.
Well, yeah,
you're right.
That's what it comes down to. If you got somebody that knows what they're doing, they know how to, to give it right. But as long as you know how to take it right, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
It can go wrong. You go to powerbomb somebody and they don't sit up right and you drop them on their head.
Oh, yeah.
That's happened how many times? You've seen it, Guys breaking their back, look at the simple rocker dropper when they broke that guy's neck, so simple move, flat bump, but he didn't, he decided to tuck his head and broke his neck. Like I think a lot of goes on who's doing it and how trained you are.
Or the styles clash when people bend their head.
Yeah, right.
You ever see the Steiner screwdriver? That would be my guess. Would be mine.
That would, because there's no
that would be mine. I would tell him, no way. If you can get me up on your own, knock yourself out, but I ain't doing it.
Right.
Yep.
Oh man.
I don't know. He might have got you up, Ox.
I know.
He looked like a monster.
His vitamins were a lot stronger than mine. That's for sure.
He had them good vitamins.
Yeah. FDA regulated.
Yeah. Wink, wink.
Yeah. Right.
I just shared a match with in the training group, and it was the Steiners versus Owen and Bret Hart, and he did the screwdriver in that match, and so crazy.
Yeah, that's dangerous. That's very dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, they all can be. It's just like I said, who's taking it and who's taking it.
Yeah.
If you're trained right, you have a great chance of getting through it. But if you're not, there's a good chance that you might be going to the hospital.
Yeah,
forever.
Yeah.
Here's another question for you guys. If you had the opportunity in your younger years to go over and train in Japan,
absolutely,
would you have taken it? And why?
Absolutely.
Yep.
And why? Why is the next question? No. Why is the next question?
Because they get paid so much better over in Japan than here.
Well, in Japan,
they appreciate it more.
It's respected over there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. More than over here. I mean, they train differently. When they're more of a strong style. I mean, I think it'd be a great learning experience, cultural experience, learning experience. I think it would develop anybody that goes over there to get some exposure and learn about the world and learn about what actually happens around, besides just here in the States.
Yeah. Yep.
How would you describe strong style to somebody that wouldn't know it?
Get in the ring. With
That's an
one of
open
us.
hand slap, boy.
Yep, that's an open hand slap.
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to hit you. It's going to be solid, but it'll be safe. But you're
Safe
going
Okay.
but
to
solid. Yeah.
strong styles, they hit harder, but they're in safe spots. And that's what training comes in. Learning to hit people where you're safe without hurting them. People always want to get punched in the face, but nobody comes with a black eye or a broken jaw. Why? Because if you really punch them in the jaw, you'd probably break it. So you can't just punch in the jaw or punch in the nose. You got to find a spot to hit them safely.
Okay.
I like to call strong style tight.
Tight.
Yeah.
Yep. Snug. Tight.
No.
Yeah, snug.
Basically, like
I like to call strong style ox.
Yeah.
Ox is strong style.
I believe.
You know it.
But the thing
That's
is, like, if you don't like, I remember Sam telling me, if you make it look fake, people are going to believe it's fake. They're going to call it fake, and you're stealing their money.
Yep.
He said it's like, he goes, you want them to forget what it is, and you got to remember this is 1997 or 1998. People knew what wrestling was, but they weren't sure what wrestling was. It was still kind of like, a mystery. It's like when you watch the movies and you see, I don't know, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is a bad guy. You want for that
And he does all the stunts.
Yes, as his own. And for 2 hours, you want to believe Tom Cruise is that bad guy. That's why it's fun. Like, it's fun. Like, for me, it was always fun to kind of throw the swerve into people, especially when you're working outside the ring or stuff like that. Like, if you're 2 feet from a fan in the front row and they see you, sissying it, what are they going to say? I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, then they think, oh, anybody can do this shit. These guys are clowns, and then you never see them again. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You got to hit them in a spot where it's safe, but it'll make that sound. You know what I mean? Like across the top of the back, or you know what I mean? It makes that nice thud. And then people are like, oh my god, they're really hitting each other. That's why I always like, when me and Rob worked the last time we worked, I was like, he is my friend, and I kept telling them, like, that's what I kept saying. I'm telling you, he's really my friend. Like, this is for real. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, no, he's really, and they're like, some wrestling fans, I love them, but they're not like, things don't click real fast sometimes,
right?
And they're like, oh, well, if you guys are friends, let it beat each other up because we like to, you know what I mean? That's how we get along, and
that's how we say we love each other.
Yeah, yes, but I mean, like, when you're close to them and they're listening to the thuds and the smacks and you know what I mean? That makes them forget what wrestling is. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's the whole point of it. Point ain't to do 700 moves a match. It's to give them a story. It's to give them something to enjoy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. If you're my friend, I hit you hard. If you're an idiot, I'm just going to hit you harder.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, you guys actually, I'm the rookie here amongst these three. Of us three, I'm the rookie, and I'm done. By the way, still, my fingers, but like, you're in there when you're in there with people who hit like crazy hard. You know what I mean? Or you in there with people who look like they're killing you. I'm good to do anything with most of them guys because they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You could have somebody who's barely touches you or don't, you know what I mean? And they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're the one that's going to hurt you. Not the guy who knows what they're doing. Not the guy who's smacking you. You know what I mean? Yep. I mean, we all work the Samoans. I mean,
yep.
You know what I mean? You rang for days. But I mean, you were always safe, and anything they ever said to do, they just did it because you knew they were going to take care of you.
I remember the first time I wrestled Bigelow, and we were at Stokesay Castle, and it was a late show, so we didn't wrestle as long as we wanted to. But he was laying forearms into me. He wasn't touching me, but he was right here. Yeah, and I had to keep my eyes open and self because I didn't at times didn't know. And like he gave me like a bunch of them, hit the rope, tackled, and he bumped and rolled out. Later on, people were like, he was killing you with those forearms. I'm like, he didn't touch me. He's that good.
Yeah.
He was so good that he got to right here. Stop. I did the rest. And he goes, well, it looked like he was murdering you. I said, well, he didn't even touch me. But
That's
that's
the
how
point.
good he was because he could do that all day long. That's the art. That's the magic that isn't taught anymore.
Yeah. I wasn't that good. I really had to lay him in. You know what I mean?
I always tell my guys to work a little tighter because we're so much closer to the audience than anybody else is, and I always tell them, think how many hours that family had to work to buy our tickets. Not WWE tickets, but our tickets alone. Right. Then go out there and put on a show for them because they're the ones who are going to appreciate it more because we're taking money from their week to week checks. So that's how I go about it.
They want to be entertained. So you got and you don't give them that. One, they won't come back.
Right. Yeah.
Puts a bad taste in their mouth, and then nobody wants to go to a show. You wonder why.
Yep.
It's just another form of entertainment. It's no different than going to see your favorite band play or whatever, or you want to see your favorite team play. It's entertainment. They want to see. They want their money's worth. If they don't get their money's worth, then they're not going to come back. No matter what the tickets could be $10. But if they said, we'd have a great time, we're not coming back. And then it makes wrestling look bad because, you put on a crappy match or crappy show, and you wonder why your crowd side dwindles because nobody cares.
That's right.
Yep.
I mean, you guys are. How can I put this? Wrestling is similar to the circus and similar to Hollywood, wrapped up into one.
Yep, we're glorified stuntmen, stunt people.
Yep.
But Jackie Chan, he does all his own stunts, and look at all the crazy shit he was doing entertaining people.
Yeah.
And he's 71.
Yeah. Yep. It's just a different form of it. And
that's because he loves what he does, and he knows that he's got to perform at that level to make everything look good. Now, granted, they have camera angles where they can make things look better or worse, whereas wrestling, we get one take when they're in a match. They can do that 10 times, and they take the best one where we're out there in the ring. We got one shot every single time we do something.
And then we got them marks. Oh, they botched this, they botched that.
Yeah. We're live every time we go out there. Movies, there's so many takes and whatnot all. So, but he's still doing this. I still give props for what he's doing because he's doing his own. But at least he's got an opportunity I can do this one a little better. Let me try it again. And you get your best one where we're out there. We got one shot at it. And if we screw it up, everybody knows. And they're going to let you know again, you screwed up.
And they're going to post it on social media.
Look at this botch happen. Look at this guy.
I think the one thing too, like when you said stuntmen, the one thing to add to that though is full contact stuntmen.
Yeah.
That being the long story short on full contact, because you guys are hitting each other, you're taking the moves, but again, to a certain extent, like Ox had said, you're getting hit, either he's going to slap the shit out of you to get that reaction, or you're going to sell it to make it look good.
When me and Rob wrestled the last time, High Voltage, who we both love, was in the front row. He came to see us. Now he wasn't wrestling no more yet. He came to see us, and he was sitting in the front row. And Chris was a wrestler he graduated from the Monster Factory. He was a wrestler for over 20 years too. And one of the nicest human beings, period, you'll ever meet.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love Chris.
And the thing was, Chris, obviously being a wrestler, knew how everything went. He was smartened up. He know it all, And when Rob hit me the one time, we were right in front of him, and I just started bleeding, and Rob hit me. And when Rob hit me, I went down on the ground, and I heard, as soon as he hit me, I heard Chris go, "Oh God!" like that. You know what I mean? That's what you want. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what you want, and and when you can get that from one of the boys, that's what you want. You know what I mean? Because you're kind of getting them too, and they know what's up. You know what I mean?
Yep. making
That's-
them believe.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Suspend
That's the fun part.
You know,
Yeah.
without it, that raw emotion, like, oh my, like he hit him that hard. Holy shit! Like, wow. People pay
You know?
attention then too because they want to know what's going to happen back. He hit him like that. When he
Yeah.
gets up, what is he going to do to him?
Well, all I heard Chris say after, he goes, "I told you these guys were nuts." Chris is so nice. You know what I mean? It was just so
Absolutely.
funny. So then when I started bleeding, I crawled up on him and I got my blood all over his shirt and everything. Oh Jesus! He's going. I told you these guys are nuts. They're nuts here.
Chris,
Oh, shit.
I miss that guy.
He's such a good dude, man. Such a good
Yes,
dude.
sir. Yeah.
Speaking of good dudes, today is Lovebug's birthday.
I know.
Wow. Happy birthday, Love Bug.
Oh wow! I didn't know.
Heavenly
Yeah,
Bug.
wow.
June
Yeah.
1st ain't a very good day, is it?
Nah.
No, I guess not.
I woke up in a fantastic mood until somebody, I'm not going to say no names, messaged me and was like, "It's been 7 years." And I'm like, fuck, I didn't realize it's June after he told me what it was.
Well, this morning
I was like, I try not to think of June 1st. That whole weekend just was such a shit weekend. So I try not to.
It's a blur. It literally was a blur.
Absolutely.
I woke up this morning like a little after 5:30. I couldn't go back to sleep. And I didn't realize it until I'm like, wait a minute, first I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And I kind of got up and I made some hot tea and everything. I was just collecting my thoughts. I had my headphones on. I was listening to some music and I texted you. I texted Shatter, Tate, and Gray. And I was just like, I knew because, we were so close to them. Like, us guys, I just, I'm just wanted to reach out because I'm sure, it's one thing you want to forget, but at the same time, you can't forget something like that.
Yeah.
It's burned into your memory, good or bad, it's burned into your memory. And, it was, and then I kind of got on. I saw Tate posted, I saw Gray posted. I was like, oh, man, I'm like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, already?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well,
it's
but yeah.
Yeah, it affected so many people.
It called me, and then Tate, and then it was you, and then Gray. It's just like fudge, And then from there, it just went, like you said, a blur. At the end of the rest of the day, I just can't believe what happened. It's still just, I still can't.
I remember like it was yesterday because we were supposed to go to Pittsburgh on Saturday. That Saturday we were supposed to go to Pittsburgh, me, him, and Shane, and we were all excited. And it was just weird. It was weird, the more I think about it, because he was telling me how good Shane was and that Shane needs to keep it up and he needs to understand that he's going to be very good if he keeps listening to the right people. And he never ever said shit like that. You know what I mean? So that just made it so weird after it happened. Because then you're like, man, did he know? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, the shit that he was saying was, when you go back and think of it, but who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah. Well, you're always going to second guess everything that's happened because
absolutely.
Could I have prevented this? Could somebody have prevented this?
Right.
Like Doc was saying earlier, how he talked with the show and he sold the business, this and that, and right away, what do us guys do? I'm fine. I'm good. We're all good.
Yeah.
In reality, you're not. You're not at all.
Right. Absolutely.
Because nobody wants to admit that,
As the old saying goes, you're okay until you're not.
No, nobody wants to admit that they have a soft spot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no. And I don't think there's enough people out there, and that's why I believe, like something what I said earlier today, like find somebody, like Oxley, you got to find somebody that cares first. Find a friend, a loved one, because if they're your friend, they will care. If they don't care, then they're not your friend. That's a fake friend, and they don't give two shits. You got to find that person that's like, hey, you need me, text me, call me if you need something. You know,
Absolutely.
and that's not, that's genuine, but that's nobody. A lot of people don't have that because, hey, I'm your buddy, but when I need something, I can't get a hold of the dude.
Yeah.
And you're like, come on, like I need something here, and now you're sitting there in the middle of nowhere, you need something, and you're screwed because, I thought I had a friend here, but I don't. That lifeline is gone, and then you just feel hopeless.
Yeah.
And that's when the thoughts creep in and things going like, you know what? Nobody cares about me.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe if I'd better off if I wasn't here anymore. And people, that's when start people thinking. And then, you know what? And then your whole mind just starts going like, yeah, nobody cares. If they would, why would they reach out to you? And then snowball. And before you know it, you're going down that path that you don't want to go down. But, your mind's saying, this is the way to go. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But you need that friend, whether it's you need somebody that you can just, I need to talk to somebody.
Right.
And if you feel like you're running out of options, you can always text 988. That's the crisis hotline. They have different things through that, if you just need to talk to somebody, they could find somebody, just to text with, or they can have a live phone call with somebody as well.
And that's great. And I think that needs to be, addressed more and more and advertised because, when you think about that, you're not thinking about texting a 988 number because now you're in panic mode because you're trying to get a friend that you thought was a friend. You're not thinking, I'll just text this number. It's something that's not, if it needs to be advertised and it gets into your head more, like, oh, I've seen that thing. Maybe I should try it. It's not out in the public enough. It's not on social media enough. It's not out in the world going, this is what you need. If you need help, this is the number to text. Because when you get to a crisis where you're starting to go down that hill, you're not thinking straight, and you need, that lifeline that you thought you had, or a couple of them aren't there anymore. Panic mode sits in, and before you know it, you're not thinking to the point where now you're thinking of doing something bad because nobody cares.
You're already in that downward spiral.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope, a downward spiral that's going to crash quick because you're not thinking straight, and you're out of lifelines.
Exactly. And the help is always there. I mean, I say this personally, I'm always on the Bartender's Jukebox page. If anybody's having a problem out there, please feel free to message me. I will try and help and get you in the right places, for help. I'm not a medical professional by any means, but if I can give you the 988 text line, or if it's just listening to you for, a little bit, whatever it is, message the page. I'm more than happy to help and listen within my means.
And sometimes it's just about listening. You need to vent to somebody. You just don't want to hear yourself talk. You need somebody and say, look, I need to vent. Vent. Go ahead. Let it all out because once you let it out, you might feel better. And if you feel better, you went from like emergency to like, okay, back on track. I feel better about myself. I got it off my chest. Whew, I can breathe again.
Yes, exactly.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
I saw a post from a friend of mine. His name is Mike Lettieri. He's part of Imagine Wrestling. And he posted, everyone thinks it's okay for men to be sad and depressed until it turns into anger. Then they want to point fingers or something to that effect. Right. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn, Mike is so on point with that. So
yeah.
But it's true,
Yep.
Bottle that up and then it turns to anger. Yep.
It starts to escalate quick because you get
frustrated. Oh, it does. It does. Yeah.
The help is always out there, like I said. In one way or another. If it, like I said, something's going on, definitely message the page. I will definitely try to put you in contact with the proper help that you need.
Absolutely.
In one way or another. So,
and that's great. People need that.
Definitely. What we fight for here is, the stigma of men's mental health. We're trying to suplex that. So here's the shameless promo once again.
That's right.
All right. So we got this nifty water bottle right here. You can take the gym with you.
Dun, 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 dun. Where's Vanna White?
That should be coming up
There
soon.
it is.
There it
There it
is.
is. There it is. Where's it at?
I don't know.
There
It's
it is.
supposed to be
There
there. Alex's finger.
Yeah.
it is.
I think I see it over there.
There it is.
Hey, there it is.
That's a nice
There it
looking
is.
bottle.
Also,
It is
You
a
can
nice
get that
looking
on the
bottle.
shop as well.
I'm to get myself some stuff.
Yeah, you can get it on the shop as well. I think if I remember, it's like 56 ounces or something like that. So you can definitely load it up with water and ice for the gym. Gatorade,
Yeah.
whatever you want, but show your support while you're out there pumping iron as well. So get the word out, help us get the word out, and help
Absolutely.
us suplex the stigma.
nice.
Absolutely.
All right, so Rob, you got any events coming up?
We have one in Mill Hall, Pennsylvania on the 7th. Yeah.
All right.
That's in between like Lock Haven and Penn State. So it's the first time we're going to be there. I mean, we've been up and around that area a couple of times now. So hopefully this is going to do really well. So
Right on.
we'll see. And then
Mark,
in July we have two. In July we have two free events that we're doing. One for the Children's Miracle Network, which is always fun.
Excellent.
And the other one is for PCWA, some kind of event that they're doing as well. So
Nice.
some kind of charity. So
Right on. Mark, do you have any events coming up besides the Jersey ring round?
I got a couple rentals this month. The 7th, we're in Northern Jersey for Coastal Championship Wrestling, and then the end of the month there's Dog in Jersey, and then Mawa I think is also in Jersey on the 21st. So I got like 3 of them this month coming up. So and then that one in July. That's the only one in July so far. But,
All right, right on.
so,
Ox. So I know you're not wrestling anymore or anything like that.
No.
What are some health tip advice if somebody's trying to get cut? What would you give them?
Two
And
push
also,
away.
also give a shameless promo.
You got to eat regular, real food. Nope. Get rid of the processed shit. Real food. No processed food. And cut out the sugar. Cut out a lot of the sugar. You know what I mean? No soda, stuff like
and
that.
cardio.
Yeah, it's Spanish. Espanol.
Cardio, ese cardio.
So when they're at the gym and they're trying to lean up, are they going heavyweight, midweight, or are they trying to do longer reps and a lower weight?
You know, it really don't matter, to be honest with you. I mean, like, it depends what you're trying to do. But if you're trying to cut up, endurance is normally like 15, 20 and above, 15, 20, something like that. But it all depends, like, all that stuff depends on how you eat. You know what I mean? Like, it's good to have a mix of all, a good, like,
Okay.
if you're trying, get a little stronger, if you have a compound movement and then followed by like, an accessory movement and then followed by like a bodybuilding movement, as you go, your reps should be going up. Like I'll start with my reps, sometimes my first exercise could be between 3 and 10, or normally 3 to 8. And then the second one will be like maybe like 8 to 12. And then my third one might be like 12 to 20. You know what I mean? So it's good to have a mix of all of it, but big part of like, if you want to lose weight, honestly, is the diet, and don't be eating, try not to eat, fast food, like I'm learning a lot about nutrition. We'll see. Next week I get my blood work, so I better be an A student when it comes to that, or I'll be really pissed off. You know what I mean? But the processed food's really bad, man. Like you don't really realize how bad it is. Like you
It's
really
terrible
don't,
for your heart as well.
dude. You don't. I mean, like I mean, I just don't. I can't believe the nonsense like that gets put in food. You know what I mean? Like we get our eggs and all. We get like our eggs and some of our beef and stuff like that right from farmers now. You know what I mean? And it's just
That's the way to go.
like night and day. Like night and day.
Yes.
They said on the radio last week that they did a science report on McDonald's, and they said that one of their cheeseburgers are so processed that it could stay good for 62 days in the refrigerator.
I believe it.
A McDonald's hamburger? No. Have you seen the video where the guy has had a whole cheeseburger for almost 22 years.
That's insane.
And they poke it with a pen. Yeah,
The only thing that got hard was the roll and the cheese right out, but the meat itself looks like it just, I don't want to say came out, but I mean probably sat for like a day or two and just dried out. But it looks
tastes so good, damn it.
It is. It does taste so good. It does, but it just I'm telling you, man. And too, if you want to turn yourself off of a lot of it, just go on YouTube or Google how like that shit is made, and you'll never eat it again. I watched them make a chicken nugget. You will never catch me eating a chicken nugget.
The good old pink paste.
Oh my god, it's like oh my god, it's horrible. It's horrible. But Rob, when's your show for the Make-A-Wish? When is that?
That is hold on, July 26th. July.
Maybe I'll have to. Where's it at?
Shermansdale. It's like right, like Marysville only has one red light. If you make the left or the right.
Just one time.
Yeah. Where you did the midgets. It's actually like maybe 2 miles down the street from where you did the midget event.
Okay.
And it's a big campground where these bikers get together every year and do this CML.
It's probably, maybe 20 minutes, half hour out of Harrisburg, maybe?
Yeah, it's about 20 minutes. It's like 10 minutes from Marysville. And it's humbling, man, especially if you sit there and listen to the kids' stories, like
well, you did Make-A-Wish. You did it before. We did it before,
yes.
But it was down in Quakertown we did it?
Yep, we did it in Quakertown, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I might grace my presence with everyone.
That would be great. We would love to have you.
You always love to have me, whether you like to have
That's
me or
right.
not.
That's right.
Oh man. So you guys, I've told you before, my son, when he was 3 years old, had 2 forms of leukemia.
Yes.
Pro wrestling, he absolutely loved, and I'm going to incorporate Love Bug back into this one. He was fortunate because they weren't sure how much, Tommy would have, stuff like that. When he was 8 years old, he got the opportunity to get in the wrestling ring because of Mr. Martial Law and Love Bug up in Schuylkill Haven. And to see the joy in my little guy's face, and they gave him the Sergeant Slaughter hat to come out, and he's up on the turnbuckle holding his arm. Honest to God, that is one of the main reasons why I love pro wrestling, because I know when I was a kid, it gave me big dreams, but for him, it meant the world, like just the absolute world. And for Mike and Bob to do that for him was just that's all I can say.
That's a good thing, man. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Those are the good things that we do. We get a lot of shit sometimes, but we also do good things.
But what you guys do, though, especially for the kids, though, that you guys are larger than life, Tom.
Absolutely.
I revert back to Jimenez and the photo.
Oh, let me tell you a story about Jimenez yesterday. So we were together yesterday, right? And we went into a Dollar General, and all these little kids looked at me and they were like, "You're that wrestler!" And they start yelling it, and I go, "Shh, talk to him instead." And then they saw Jimenez, and they went crazy, dude. And they were just like, "Hey," and he's just a shy dude in front of people. Like when he's not wrestling, he's like super shy. So he's like not knowing what to do. And I just walked away from him and just left it happen. It was great. It was great to see it. So,
that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome.
So,
all right, guys, we are at over our hour mark.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That was an absolute pleasure today. Instead of messing you guys, afterwards, that was a fucking great live stream we just had. Let me tell you. That really was. So anybody that wants to find the merch, check out the Etsy shop. Like I said, all proceeds from the Stigma, the House of Men's Mental Health, all go to some form of charity event that either we're going to put together or money we can raise for.
Yes,
Either
sir.
or. So I always say, stay thirsty for life. This is the bartender, Rob Noxious, Ox, and the legendary Mark Mess, the four horsemen of men's mental health. Until
That's right.
next time, cheers.
Peace out.
You know,
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.